Good morning, Villa fans, and welcome to a match reaction. We absolutely did it. Villa are into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Oh, wow. Due to play Paris Saint-Germain in the quarters as well. Another great night at Villa Park yesterday. Made a little bit of a tough work of it against Club Brugge, who I thought did very well in the opening half, first half, really. I thought they were, very much in the game, even with 10 men. But this man coming off the bench, the magic man, he's got magic in his boots. This guy is unbelievable. But to see Villa into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, to be dining at that table with the likes of the clubs that are there now, looking at Arsenal, Madrid, Inter, Barca, Dortmund, Munich, PSG, and Villa. It's unbelievable. To think back a few years ago, and for some reason, this game always sticks in my memory, is the game against Rotherham, I think it was, where we were down to 10 men and we had to claw a victory back. I think Grealish got a goal from an El Mohammadi cut back. Kodja was on the pitch. And to see from that team, when we were struggling in the Championship to where we are now is just an unbelievable ride. It's been, we went down to the Championship and I felt so low at that point. But I've never felt this high as a Villa fan at the moment that we are seeing. And the quality of the players that we've got, the quality of the manager that we have is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, let's kind of wind it back, give it some context in terms of the game. I mean, look, Leicester have won the Premier League. Greece won the Euros. Can Villa go on and do the unpredictable, the unfathomed, just winning a Champions League? It'll be absolutely unbelievable. But we've got a huge task coming up ahead, a formidable force in Paris Saint-Germain, who I'll touch upon in a moment, but they just seem to be gaining momentum. The juggernaut is getting better and better for them. But yeah, I don't fear. I think Villa, if by somehow we can do something in Paris in the first leg and get it back to Villa Park with a chance, I just think the atmosphere of Villa Park, the fans will be up for it so much. It might just galvanise something. But, let's talk about the Club Brugge game first of all. Second leg, it was going to be, the first goal in this tie was going to be crucial. Absolutely. If we got it, it would kill the tie. If Bruges got it, it would make things interesting. Obviously, what we saw in the first, I'd say, sort of 15 minutes of the game was Club Brugge kind of dominating, 80% possession, I think, after 15 minutes. Doing really well, knocking the ball around, nice one-touch passing. I think they had a glancing header just go wide. And then after that, Emi Martinez sends a long ball up pitch, which Rashford manages to get goal side of the right back Sabi, sort of cutting in, gets ahead of him. He's going to be a through on goal, and the fullback Sabi is basically holding him back. You can see clearly from the replays. And on that moment, I would say the tie kind of changed, but it didn't at the same time. I mean, it just gave Villa that cushion that we needed, the red card for the young right back. But I must say, I thought Club Brugge still stuck to their game plan, did really well, and even with 10 men, were knocking the ball around well. I mean, I was looking at that thinking it was Villa down to 10 men, the way the game was going. We weren't pressing, we weren't able to get near them, and it just, the first half wasn't a great look. I mean, entertainment value was zero. We were trying to just frustrate them, it seemed, but there was very little kind of penetration. Watkins was hardly in the game. Our attacking players were hardly in the game. But then we have a manager who's not afraid to make changes when they're needed. So many managers will let it go till about the hour mark. See how things are looking. No, if it's not working, if it's not what he wants, he's going to make changes. And we now have this unbelievable squad. Probably the best squad I can remember supporting Villa in the last sort of 30 odd years. The depth that we have, the players that we've got, 2 or 3 players for every position, it seems like now, and good quality players who can come in and the quality doesn't quite drop off too much. apart from maybe the goalkeeping position. But, we've got unbelievable depth now in the squad. And bringing on this man, Marco Asensio and Leon Bailey at half-time, changed the dynamic of the second half, gave us that impetus, put Rashford through the middle. But Rashford likes to hang out wide on the left, which creates space into the middle for midfield runners like Rodgers, like Asensio. That's what we saw. And, we get the goal after, I think it's 50 minutes. The link-up was good. Nice driving run through the middle from Asensio. I did think at the point, just hit it. Because he's got he has got a lethal shot on him from range. He didn't. He laid it off to, I think, Morgan Rodgers. Rodgers tries to play it across. McGinn rescues the ball. I think he plays it into Leon Bailey, Leon Bailey plays this lovely ball around the corner, little scoop kind of pass, really. And Asensio is there, sort of in the center of the goal. And, it's a difficult finish because the keeper's coming out. He's spreading himself. If he hits that low, I think the keeper saves it. So it was good to see that he managed to sort of get elevation on it and get it into the roof of the net. I think that's probably the one place that he could have put it where it would have gone in. Because like I said, the keeper was literally in his face as he shot the ball, but luckily it went into the roof of the net for 1-0. And on that game, the pendulum swings, doesn't it? Bruges have to come out at that point, even with 10 men. You can see that they're kind of giving up a little bit at that point as well. And Villa were able to sort of dominate the second half and knock it around and have that cushion and create space. I mean, again, Asensio had a lovely chance, I think, straight after as well, where Tielemans plays him through. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and I think the keeper gets a foot to it, and it just sort of hits the post and then rolls back into the keeper's arms, which is so unlucky. But his movement off the ball was terrific, and his movement for the cutbacks was terrific. And again, the second goal comes, I think is it Ian Maatsen who scores the second one? I think, yeah, Ian Maatsen scores the second one again from good play from Villa. I think Rodgers sort of gets in behind, gets it to the byline. Lovely feet from Rodgers, and he manages to put the ball back into Maatsen, who was playing more of an inverted kind of left back position in the second half, not sort of staying high and wide, because Rashford was kind of occupying that position really, which allowed those midfield runners to get forward. And then Maatsen's getting in the box. His shot deflects off Michelin again, but as the effort was goal bound, it will go down as Ian Maatsen's first goal for Aston Villa. And I thought he had a good game as well. I thought he was doing well on that left-hand side. I think maybe Luca Digne was a yellow card away from suspension, so maybe that was in Unai's thinking in the team lineup for this one. But Maatsen scores. It's 2-0. It's 2 goals in, I think, 7 minutes. And, the tie is well and truly sort of finished off then. Brugge taking off players at that point as well. Players maybe that would be able to, affect the game and first teamers, because they realise the game is gone. And then soon after that, we get the third. Marcus Rashford at the heart of it as well. Nice link-up play down the left. I think it was Ramsey who was on at that point. Feeds it into Rashford, who again gets to kind of the byline, and then, without panicking, manages to pick out this man. And this man here makes the run to kind of the near post area. And I think it's like a sliding kind of finish, but he manages to, find the back of the net at the near post area. And Asensio now has 7 goals in 5 appearances. Most of those have been off the bench as well. I mean, this guy is, they say never fall in love with a lone player, don't they? I think we did it a long time ago with Tammy Abraham. Robert Snodgrass was another one that I did like as well. But this guy is, he's next level. And this is what we need. We need Champions League quality players. We have that now. He's won the Champions League 3 times. I think he's got the most goals in the Champions League as a sub player as well. So when he is coming off the bench, he is making a difference, an influence on the game. And I think just the role that we've got for him there in that 10 and his link up with Marcus Rashford just suits everyone down to the ground, really. And there's talks about it making his deal permanent. I think he's got 1 year to run on his PSG contract. They don't like him. I think PSG play in a sort of different way than what Marco Asensio does. Maybe they're more sort of fast and direct and about, ball carriers all the time. But Asensio, I think he's got a year to go. They're saying 15 million. if that's the case, give him the contract, give him what he wants, and get him signed up. He is a difference maker in games, whether it be off the bench or from starting. He can pull strings, and I don't think that we'll be able to sign Rashford and Asensio on permanent after their loan deals, but definitely Asensio is now looking like he could be gettable, depending on what his kind of wage demands are and things like that. But he seems to have settled in well. He seems to have liked, the teammates. He mentioned obviously he likes the city of Birmingham. He likes the coach. So there's no reason for him to kind of use this as a springboard or a stepping stone to somewhere else. I think, he could be someone that we could get in the summer. But what a fantastic player. What a fantastic player. So, yeah, I think Marco Asensio, fantastic performance, man of the match for me, coming on that second half. Should have had a hat-trick as well. Could have had a hat-trick. And now we look on to Paris Saint-Germain as well. What a game that's going to be. I think it's in April. I think it's like the 6th or 7th of April, the first leg in Paris, and then the return leg at Villa Park. But Paris Saint-Germain, they are banging form now, but they struggled in the Champions League group stage, league phase even. 15th they finished. They played 8, won 4, drawn 1, lost 3. They had 13 points. They were 2 points away from elimination. But, something has definitely clicked with them. And what you can see with them, and, we'll talk more about them nearer the time, is that they're much more of a cohesive team now. They don't have superstars like they had before with Mbappe and Messi and Neymar and these sorts of players. It's more young, up-and-coming, maybe more hungrier players. But they had a rocky start to the group, the league phase. 1 win in their first 5 games. And that was against Girona in the opening game. Following that, they lost 2-0 to Arsenal, a 1-1 draw with PSV, a 2-1 defeat to Atletico Madrid, and a 1-0 defeat to Bayern Munich. So they can be unravelled and got at, but obviously the recent form would suggest that they are banging form. So obviously beating Salzburg, they beat Man City, they beat Stuttgart in their last 3 games, which got them through in 15th position. And then obviously in their sort of playoff round that they had a fellow French team called Brest, beat them 3-0 in Brest and then 7-0 in Paris, so 10-0 aggregate victory. And obviously, as we saw the other day, played tremendously well against Liverpool in Paris, and then backed that up with a really good performance at Anfield as well, I thought. And I thought deserved to go through out of the 2 legs. They were the better team, but going to be a tough assignment to get through PSG. Obviously, Emery going back to his former team where he won, I think, 7 trophies in his time there. Obviously, Asensio is there, and Asensio can play. There is no, not like the Premier League when you loan a player and he can't play against his parent club. I think we saw it a couple of years ago with Coutinho when he was at Barca. He was on loan at Bayern Munich. I think he scored the goal that knocked him out. I think we've seen it this season with Iling Jr. at Bologna. He's our player, but he can play for Bologna in the Champions League, and he did come on the pitch against us. So unless there's something written into the contract with Asensio, like an agreement that he can't play, but I'm not sure that would be allowed. There's no reason that he should not be able to play against his parent club PSG. And we go into that game now. Asensio, hopefully on form, on form when that game comes around. Rashford, hopefully by then, has a couple of goals for us. You got Ollie Watkins, who didn't have a great game yesterday, let's be honest, came off at half-time. Maybe the 2-week break is going to do him well. I think it's going to do a lot of players well. Pau Torres came on and played a good sort of 20 minutes towards the end, which was good. I was looking forward to seeing maybe Onana or Bogard get on the pitch, but I think Emery, wanted to keep sort of strong players on the pitch and make sort of strong substitutions as well, by the looks of things. But yeah, it was good to see Sassy making his league debut. So yeah, just a really, really good performance from Aston Villa yesterday. I was a bit frustrated in the first half, if I'm being honest. But, it came through in the end. And this is what Unai Emery does, quarter-final of a cup competition. I think he's done it with Villarreal before when they got to the semi-finals a few years ago. Have we got one more massive performance in us in the Champions League? Let's see. When it comes in a couple of weeks' time, or a few weeks' time against PSG, that's going to be an unbelievable game to be able to watch and to hopefully be a part of, actually. See if I can get tickets for the home leg, but let's see about that. But yeah, we've got a 2-week break now, which is good because it's been very intense with Villa, back-to-back kind of competitions, 3 games a week and all that sort of stuff. I mean, yeah, I could do with a bit of a break. I'm not sure about the players, but and I'm sure that Mrs. Sharma will appreciate a bit of no football at the weekend for a couple of weeks, just to, get things done. But yeah, it's going to be, Preston are next now in the cup. But we've got that little break. I think the plans are to go to Dubai. I think Emery mentioned this in his post-match interview as well. So taking the players away that are not going on international duty. I've got a feeling that a few of these players are going to, pull up with some sort of injury and get out the international call-ups as well. Although England squad being announced, I think tomorrow, first one for Thomas Tuchel. I'm sure that some of our boys would want to be a part of that, like Rodgers, Mings, Watkins, Konsa perhaps, Ramsey, maybe. But I'm sure there's going to be players that, would want to be a part of Thomas Tuchel's sort of first squad. But there are also players that need a rest, and I'm sure that will welcome that sort of warm weather training in Dubai as well. But yeah, guys, don't want to waffle on too much. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game. Please do like, subscribe, comment as well. What are your thoughts on the PSG game? Did you go yesterday? What was the atmosphere like at Villa Park? It looked incredible. I'm watching all the podcasts and the build-ups to it all as well. It looks absolutely amazing. I'm going to try to get a ticket for the Paris home tie if I can. I want to get to a Champions League game. I haven't been to one yet. So yeah, that's my my goal for the next sort of couple of weeks. As soon as they go on sale, I'm going to try to get one if I can. But anyway, guys, do like, subscribe, comment, and until the next one, enjoy the rest of your working week, and keep smiling, Villa fans. This is probably the best that I've known it for a long, long time. So just take it all in, enjoy. Squad's looking good, healthy. The manager is unbelievable. And yeah, we could be fighting for Champions League, FA Cup, and hopefully we can still get Champions League next season via the league as well, because that's still up in the air. And I would love for us to get Champions League again. Now that we've had a taste of it here, my goodness, you don't want to give this up, do you? It's addictive, isn't it? You just want to stay at this sort of level, these sort of nights, these sort of memories. And I don't want to let these sort of feelings go. So yeah, up the Villa, boys. Enjoy the rest of your working week. I'm tired. Off for a lie down.